What's up, coin hunters? Welcome to US Coins World, the channel where pocket change turns into treasure. Today, we're unlocking the secrets behind rare US coins that could be worth thousands, and you might already own one without even knowing it. From hidden mint marks to million-dollar mistakes, this video is packed with jaw-dropping finds. So grab your coins, and let's see what you've really got. Top 1. Today we're talking about the 2022 Maya Angelou Washington quarter dollar, the first coin from the American Women Quarters program, and believe it or not, certain versions of this coin are being sold for incredible amounts of money. So before you spend it or toss it in a drawer, let's find out what makes this modern quarter so extraordinary. Let's start with a little background. In 2022, the US Mint launched a powerful new initiative, the American Women Quarters program, to honor women who shaped American history. The very first woman to appear in this groundbreaking series was none other than Maya Angelou, the legendary poet, civil rights activist, and author of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. On the front of the coin, you'll still find the familiar image of George Washington. But look closely, this isn't the usual portrait. It's a new left-facing design, created by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser. And it's a nod to a design that was originally recommended for the Washington quarter 100 years ago but never used, until now. On the reverse side, we see the striking image of Maya Angelou, her arms raised in joy, with a bird in flight behind her, inspired by her poetry and legacy. It's one of the most powerful modern coin designs, and it holds a deep meaning that resonates with millions. But let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. What makes this coin rare? What makes it valuable? And why are some collectors paying tens of thousands of dollars for a coin that's barely out of circulation? It all comes down to three powerful words: condition, rarity, and errors. Most 2022 Maya Angelou quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, in massive numbers. But only a tiny fraction have been found in perfect, uncirculated condition, especially from circulation. Coins that are graded as MS 67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC are extremely rare, and their value shoots up dramatically. Now, here's where things get really interesting: mint errors. Some Maya Angelou quarters have been discovered with striking errors that make them stand out to collectors. These include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted or misaligned; double dies, where the coin shows a faint doubling of letters or details, especially in the word liberty, or on Maya Angelou's wings and arms; die chips or cuts, where extra metal appears in odd places due to damage on the minting die; and even wrong planchet errors, where the quarter is struck on a metal blank meant for another denomination. Now that's an ultra-rarity. These error coins are like unicorns for collectors. They're unusual, beautiful, and command a premium price because no two are exactly alike. Add to that the historical importance of Maya Angelou's place on US currency, and you have a coin that's not only rare, but deeply meaningful to many people. For collectors who care about history, culture, and unique finds, this quarter hits all the marks. So, how much can one of these coins really be worth? Well, while most quarters might buy you a gumball or sit forgotten in your change jar, a rare 2022 Maya Angelou quarter with the right error and pristine condition has been known to sell for an unbelievable amount. Yes, a verified, high-grade error version of this coin has been valued at $87,000. That's right. A modern-day quarter, just 25 cents, could be worth nearly $90,000 if it checks all the boxes. Imagine finding one of these in your change or your coin jar at home. It could change your day, or your life. So don't dismiss those modern coins just because they're new. Examine them closely. Look for anything unusual, any doubling, off-center designs, or strange marks. And if you find one that looks perfect, it might be worth getting graded. Top 2. We're talking about the 2021 Washington quarter, crossing the Delaware edition. Now, this isn't just any quarter. It's a coin packed with symbolism, history, and, in some cases, incredible value. So listen closely, because if you're lucky enough to find the right one, it could be worth thousands, or much more. Let's rewind to 2021. This was the year the US Mint closed one chapter and began a new one. After the long-running and beloved America the Beautiful Quarter series ended, the Mint released a new design to honor one of the most iconic moments in American history, General George Washington's daring crossing of the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. On this quarter, the obverse features a refreshed portrait of George Washington, bold, striking, and facing right, unlike the familiar left-facing version we've seen since 1932. Then on the reverse side, you'll find a dynamic image of Washington leading his troops across the ice-choked Delaware, saber raised, determination in his eyes. It's not just a coin, it's a moment of American grit and bravery captured in metal, but what makes this quarter more than just a piece of change? What transforms it into a collector's dream? It all comes down to two major factors: rare minting errors and exceptional condition. While millions of these quarters were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a small number have shown up with serious errors that make collectors' hearts race. Some of the most valuable include die cracks and die chips, especially around Washington's hat, face, or the edge of the boat. Die Obverse, DDO, coins, where the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled under magnification off-center strikes, where the image is visibly misaligned. Cut errors, where chunks of the coin appear to be missing or raised due to damage on the die. And incredibly rare wrong planchet errors, where the quarter is accidentally struck on a different metal blank, sometimes even a dime or foreign coin planchet. Now, these aren't your average coins. They're rare, fascinating mistakes, like nature's quirks in the world of minting, and they are very valuable. The rarer the error and the cleaner the condition, the higher the price goes. And speaking of condition, collectors go wild for coins graded at MS 67 or above, which means mint state, near perfect. These are coins that haven't been circulated, handled, scratched, or worn down. They look like they just left the mint, sharp edges, flawless shine, and every detail fully visible. Now imagine this: a coin that has both a significant error and a near-perfect grade. That's the holy grail. These are the coins that show up in auction houses and private sales, fetching sky-high prices from collectors who know just how rare these combinations really are. So how much can the 2021 Washington quarter, crossing the Delaware, be worth if it has the right combination of rarity, error, and condition? Hold on tight, because a rare error version of this quarter, in pristine, uncirculated condition, has been valued at a staggering $85,000. Yes, that's $85,000 for a single quarter. Just think about that, 25 cents that could be worth more than a luxury car, more than some people's annual income, more than you ever imagined could come from the change in your pocket. So here's your mission: check your quarters. Look closely. Use a magnifying glass if you have to. Look for doubling, chips, cracks, anything that seems off. And if you find something unusual, get it evaluated. It might just be the coin of a lifetime. Top 3. We're diving into the mysterious and surprisingly valuable 1965 Washington quarter dollar. If you've ever thought old coins were just junk drawer fillers or pocket change, think again. Because this one might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's take a step back in time to understand why this coin is so special. The year 1965 was a turning point in American coinage. It marked the end of an era, the end of silver in our everyday coins. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices and economic shifts, the U.S. Mint made a historic change. Quarters would now be made of a copper-nickel blend, with no silver content at all. That might sound simple, but the transition wasn't smooth. During this time, the Mint was still using some leftover silver planchets from 1964. And that's where the mystery, and the money, begins. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets, meaning they look like normal quarters, but they contain silver, and those are extremely rare. Finding one is like striking gold. In fact, only a handful have been authenticated, and they are considered some of the most desirable modern-era coins in existence. But that's not the only reason the 1965 quarter is sought after. Collectors are also on the hunt for rare mint errors from that year, including double die errors, where you can see slight doubling in the text or design details, especially on the word "Liberty," or the date off-center strikes, where the image is visibly misaligned, creating a unique and collectible look. Clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin appears to be missing due to a mistake in the cutting process. And of course, the wrong planchet errors, where a quarter was accidentally struck on a dime or even a foreign coin blank. Each of these errors turns a regular quarter into a collector's prize. But if you combine one of these errors with an early strike or high-grade condition, that's where the real magic happens. Speaking of condition, collectors prize coins that have been preserved in nearly perfect shape. That means minimal wear, full details, and a strong strike. Coins that are graded MS 67 or higher are considered elite, and their value can skyrocket, but here's something that makes the 1965 quarter especially exciting: many of them are still out there. Because it was the first year of the new clad composition, millions were produced and circulated. And some of those rare errors or silver-struck versions could be sitting in old jars, boxes, or forgotten collections. So don't overlook your change. Don't assume that just because a coin is common, it's worthless. With the 1965 Washington quarter, the opposite might be true. Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to find a 1965 Washington quarter that was struck on a silver planchet, or one with a rare and dramatic error, in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something truly remarkable. Because the value of one of these rare 1965 quarters has been estimated at an incredible $83,000, yes, $83,000, for a quarter that's 25 cents that could pay for a car, college tuition, or even a house down payment. And the best part? It might already be in your possession. So check your old coins. Look at the edges. Weigh them if you can. A silver planchet will weigh slightly more than a standard clad quarter. Use a magnifying glass to spot those minting errors. And if you think you've got something special, get it professionally graded and authenticated, because it could change your life. Top 4. We're diving into one of the most iconic and patriotic coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint, the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington quarter dollar. Now, before you brush it off as just another old coin with a fancy date, let me stop you right there. Because hidden among these quarters are rare versions and surprising minting errors that have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. And yes, one specific version has reached a jaw-dropping value that you won't believe. So grab a seat, coin fans, and listen carefully, because this is one coin you do not want to overlook. Let's start with the basics. In 1976, the United States celebrated its 200th birthday, the Bicentennial of American independence. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint released special commemorative coins with dual dates, 1776 to 1976, including a unique design for the quarter dollar. Instead of the standard eagle on the back, the Bicentennial quarter features a beautiful image of a colonial drummer, facing left, with a torch of victory encircled by 13 stars. The design captures the spirit of the revolution and the pride of the American people. Millions of these coins were made and released into circulation, so yes, most bicentennial quarters are very common. You've probably even seen one in your change. But here's the secret: not all of them are created equal. Some of these quarters are extremely rare, and the reason lies in 3 important areas: mint location, metal composition, and minting errors. Let's break it down. First, metal composition. While most bicentennial quarters are made from a standard copper-nickel clad mix, the U.S. Mint also produced a limited number of 40% silver bicentennial quarters, but only in special collector sets, not for regular circulation. These silver coins are already more desirable, especially if they've been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition. Second, we have minting location. Look just to the right of Washington's ponytail, that's where you'll see the mint mark. A small d means it was made in Denver, a s means San Francisco, and no mint mark at all means it came from Philadelphia. The San Francisco silver proofs, especially with errors, are the most sought after, but here's where things get really interesting. The errors: some bicentennial quarters were struck with shocking minting mistakes, including double die obverse or reverse, where the date, lettering, or parts of the drummer design appear doubled off center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't aligned properly, struck on the wrong planchet, including dime planchets or foreign coin blanks, making the quarter smaller or lighter than normal clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin appears to have been bitten off, die cracks or cuts, where raised bumps or missing pieces form due to damage on the minting dies. These errors are not only fascinating, they're extremely rare. And collectors go wild for them. Now, let's add one more element to the equation: condition. That if you find a bicentennial quarter with one of these rare errors and it's in near perfect condition, we're talking about a grading of MS 67 or higher, then you've found something incredibly special. These are the coins that go straight to high-end auctions, and collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay big money to own a piece of American numismatic history. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? Well, first, check the weight. A silver quarter should weigh about 5.75 grams, while a regular clad one weighs around 5.67 grams. It's a small difference, but a precise scale can help. Next, check for any strange features, doubling, missing pieces, odd coloration, or unusual edges. And finally, if you think you've got something, get it graded by a professional. That's how the true value is determined. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. While most 1776 to 1976 quarters are worth face value, and some are worth a few dollars if they're in decent shape, there is one particular version, a rare bicentennial quarter with a major mint error and in pristine condition, that has been valued at an astonishing $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000. For one quarter. Just imagine finding that in your drawer or change jar. A piece of American history that could change your future. So the next time you come across a bicentennial quarter, don't ignore it. Examine it carefully. Because you never know, you might be holding a treasure disguised as 25 cents. Top 5. We're talking about the 1988 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that millions of people have touched, spent, or tossed in a drawer, but only a tiny few have looked at closely. And trust me, you'll want to start looking a whole lot closer. Why? Because one specific version of this seemingly ordinary coin has been sold for a staggering price. Now let's go back to 1988, a time before smartphones, when payphones still lined the streets, and pocket change was actually used every day. The US Mint struck hundreds of millions of quarters that year. At first glance, they looked like every other quarter, George Washington on the front, the proud eagle on the back. But as with many things in the world of coin collecting, it's the small details that turn a common coin into a collector's dream. The 1988 Washington quarter was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Most of these coins were used in circulation. They bought coffee, sat in jars, fell between couch cushions. But a very small number of them were minted with errors so rare and so dramatic, they're now considered some of the most valuable modern quarters out there. So, what exactly makes a 1988 quarter worth more than just 25 cents? Let's talk about rarity and errors, the two biggest things collectors chase. First up, mint errors. In 1988, like in other years, the mint produced an enormous quantity of coins. And when you're striking hundreds of millions of coins, mistakes happen. But here's the key: not all mistakes are valuable. The errors that make headlines are the ones that are obvious, unusual, and extremely rare. Some of the most valuable 1988 quarters include errors like double Die Obverse, DD. You might see clear doubling on words like liberty or in God we trust. Off-center strikes. Part of the coin's design is missing because the die was misaligned during striking, struck on the wrong planchet. This is a big one. Some 1988 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for pennies or even foreign coins. These are lighter, thinner, and truly rare, clipped planchets. A noticeable piece of the coin is missing, giving it a bite mark look. Die cracks and cuts. These cause strange raised lines or lumps of extra metal to appear on the coin, and depending on where they are, they can dramatically raise its value. Now let's talk about condition. Even if your coin has a rare error, its value increases massively if it's in mint state. That means the coin was never used in circulation. It hasn't been scratched, worn, or tossed around in a pocket. These uncirculated coins are usually graded by services like PCGS or NGC, and coins with a grade of MS 66 or higher are very hard to find. Combining a rare mint error with a high-grade condition, that's where the magic happens. But here's the exciting part: the 1988 quarter is modern enough that many people still have it lying around. It could be in an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or that change you haven't rolled up yet. The best treasures are sometimes hiding in the most ordinary places. So don't ignore your 1988 quarters. Pull them out. Examine the date, the lettering, the edge, the surface. If something looks off, or unusually perfect, you might be looking at something truly valuable. And if you think it's special, take it to a professional for grading and authentication, because now comes the part that might just blow your mind. Among the rarest and most pristine examples of the 1988 Washington quarter, specifically one with a major minting error and graded in top condition, has been valued at an extraordinary $77,000. Yes, you heard that right. $77,000 for a single quarter. That's a coin that could be hiding in your collection, your drawer, or even your pocket right now. And that's why coin collecting is so thrilling, because what seems ordinary could actually be extraordinary. Thanks for tuning in to US Coins World. If you found this video interesting, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss the next big find. You never know, the next life-changing coin might already be in your hands. Keep collecting, keep searching, and as always, happy hunting.